Hello, investors. This is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Tuesday, June 10th, 4:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state, we are still in an uptrend since those subsequent follow-through days on the 22nd and the 23rd. And yes, follow-through days work. And if we take a look at the trend gauge on the right side of the screen here, market leaders, green arrow, um, continue to display the same message. Lots of leaders, lots of themes, continue to be bullish. Short term, we are trending above the 21 EMA, still in that power trend. Medium term, above the 50-day moving average, and that is starting to slope back up. And then long term, above the 200-day moving average, but looking for that to get more in an established uptrend and slope up more. So, what happened today? Indexes leading the way, they held up a lot better, and there was some volatility in some of the leaders that we've been tracking. Nothing out of the ordinary, just short term extended, needed to pull back a little bit, and that's what we saw. Some profit taking as well. And looking at these final numbers, you can see the S&P was up 0.5%, the Nasdaq almost up 0.66%, and that is a main reason why we hold a core position in the S&P 500 at Revere because the S&P captures all the rotation. So sometimes you get days where healthcare, staples, they lead versus tech and growth, and the S&P 500 captures that. And if you're holding all growth stocks, they could get hit on one of those rotation days. So that always smooths out the equity curve and helps capture alpha on rotation days. So here are the final numbers. 21 over 21 list down 1.22%, 5 green, 2 neutral, 14 red. Turbo 10 down 2.5%, 3 green, 1 neutral, 6 red. And one thing I want to preface with the Turbo 10 is that it's going to be a lot more volatile in nature. This is going to be more so of a gauge to track high beta names. Most of the names in the list are less volume and have higher ATR. So the moves, the end of day calculation could be larger than the 21 over 21 list, and partially due and the Turbo 10's down 2.5, partially due to the fact that eToro was down 11% on earnings. That's a recent IPO, and those can be quite volatile as well. Big 8 up 1.05%. Tesla leading the way. Got hit hard last week on the Elon Musk versus Trump. And come bouncing back 5% today. So we'll see if maybe that shrugs that off. RG8 up 0.08%. S&P 500 up about 0.5%. Same with Equate. Q's up 0.66. Equate up 0.79. Dow Jones up 0.29. Midcaps up 0.32%. Russell 2000 up 0.54%. 60/40 stock and bond up 0.37%. Flagship GROTECTION flat on the day, and TurboTection basically flat as well. Let's get into the inter-asset correlation. We'll start with the chart of the S&P 500 and continues to trickle higher. In that environment, the ATR is contracting 1.22% now, and you're just getting that smooth uptrend with low volatility. And again, this is when it helps to be in the S&P 500 and you capture these nice low volume, low volatility uptrends. So nothing to complain. Continue to close back above 6,000 and looks good. Equal weight coming out of this flag here above the 200 day. Q's continuing higher, 540.81's the previous all-time highs, and looks like it may want to make a run to that level, see if it just breaks out through it or handles out. But again, looks like all-time highs are close. Mag 7 strength here, breaking out of this flag consolidation. Dow Jones again looking good, building up above the 200 day. Mid caps trying to get back above the 200-day moving average here. Russell 2000 coming back into the 200-day, and this is breaking out of a nice inverse head and shoulders pattern. Clearly is the laggard. Most of the constitutes in the Russell 2000 can be junk, and once they get better, they graduate into the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq. But again, this sometimes can play catch up when it lags hard. So this is coming into the 200-day moving average. See what it does there. CPIs tomorrow. ARC again showing the positive breath in the market. Maybe it's Kathy Wood summer, three strong days up after breaking this 58.56 pivot. Nice volume as well. Leaders, again, kind of good representation of today, down 1.65%, but again, holding above the 21. The VIX continues to leak lower, 16 handle here, down 1.57%. And, this has room down to 10, 11, 12 bucks. So we'll see. But again, continues to be a good low volatility environment. The dollar may be trying to build a higher low here. Gold getting really tight at the 21 here. Nice base here. After that bounce off the 50-day. Gold stocks, similar thing. Rejected these previous highs and now pulling back. Silver, it's a really strong breakout this week and just a really tight inside day after a strong 4-day push. Bitcoin strength here. We've been talking about our bullish stance on Bitcoin and held the 21 day, and now it's coming back up through that 61.75 pivot. And, looking at Bitcoin spot, all-time highs are quite near. So, if Bitcoin's acting this good, again, another sign that it's a risk-on market. Bonds just in a big range here. TLT, same thing. Potentially trying to carve out a bottom here, and that would coincide with the rates potentially moving lower with a potential failed breakout right here, and TNX as well. That's the inter-asset correlation. Let's get into the tail of the tape. Let's see. Percent of stocks above the 5-day moving average at 70. Still operating on the bull case. News. There's some optimism on the US-China trade talks in London, and we got a pop in the afternoon, and that was on Commerce Secretary Lutnick comments on China. He said, hope talks end this evening, could go into tomorrow if needed be. But again, if we get trade deals with China, that would be very bullish to the market, and our expectation would be that would be perceived well. And then CPI tomorrow morning as well. That's a big one. And then PPI the following day. Today's keys, S&P versus that 5,900 to 6,021 range, green arrow. Qs versus the 523 to 530 range, green arrow there. And then, moving this range up into tomorrow, 6,000 versus 6,035, and then Qs versus the 528 versus 534 range. 3 days up on the day count, 11 days above the 8, 33 days above the 21. And like I mentioned, that power trend stays alive. Sectors wise, builders, oil, semiconductors had a strong day, energy, biotech, definitely some rotation into biotech and builders, and that fits the theme with small caps. They've been showing some relative strength lately. And one chart that I did want to bring up is on the topic of small caps. You can see this chart. This is small cap equity positioning, and current percentile is at 23%. And when we talked about small caps before, they can play catch up and they can move very fast. As some funds use small caps as a funding short. So if CPI comes in cool tomorrow, if there's a trade deal, you could potentially see a large rally in small caps above the 200-day moving average as they play catch up. And again, this positioning is very low. Basically retested 2022, 2023 lows on a positioning perspective. All right, that's that. Trades today, GROTECTION, trim GEV. I'm going to talk about that one along with the 7-week rule, sell CRDO, and then took a starter in ETHA. RVAB 1.22, 4.4% open heat. TurboTaction today added on to ARM and ETHA, which is the Ethereum ETF, 2.18 beta, minus 6.65% open heat. Bottom line, indexes hold up strong with minor volatility in leaders. Let's get into some charts of interest. All right, we'll start with some trades. So GEV took a trim here for GROTECTION and kind of talked through this is what's the 7-week hold rule. And this is basically when a stock has been respecting the 10 simple or the 8 EMA for 7 weeks, and then it breaks it and it violates the low of that previous day. GEV did that today and took a little more profits. Again, held the 21-day. So maybe this one takes a breather. A lot of the AI data center power generation names are down today. So, they were just seeing some profit taking. CRDO sold this one just after for GROTECTION after buying on the gap, just not the action that you want to see. But again, this starts a U-turn back around. We're never afraid to buy back. So still on watch, but just violated the stop and then took a starter protection in Ethereum. And you can see this is breaking out of this flag quite nicely. You have risk on sentiment in crypto, and Ethereum's been leading on a relative basis versus Bitcoin and up much larger. I mean, starting from this day here, this was $15, closed at 21. So good action in Ethereum. Turbo Protection, while we're on it, we added to this one as well today. Had some from down here, trimmed some on the rally, and then added some back. So again, we lean bullish on crypto. You have good participation from Ethereum, Bitcoin. I believe Solana is looking pretty good as well. And then another other trade for turbo protection is we added on to ARM. And this one's building above the 200 day. You have strength in semiconductors. This one's been in a base for over a year now. Look at this monthly. So this one's been showing nice RS lately, coming up the right side, back above the 200-day moving average. And not something we always look at, but something we keep an eye on is sometimes directional call flow can be a good indicator for a stock. And I want to say 1 week or 2 weeks ago, Alex talked about Hood and how there was a lot of call flow on that one before it made its big move. And ARM has been seeing a lot of call flow as well. So it just kind of adds to the conviction. So this one looks good as long as it can stay above the 200-day moving average. All right, we'll start with the Turbo 10. Qubit, Quantum having a day. This one was up, closed the day at 5%, but again was up 15 16% at the highs today. But again, quantum, another risk on sector right now. Lemonade, this one's been coming out really nice, had a really nice power 3 setup here with all the moving averages, and this one continues higher after breaking out. TMDX, just beautiful action again. Medical products, the 76th ranked industry group, but again looking quite nice, and this one has been great. LEU, we own this in turbo protection as well, continues to ride higher in this power generation theme. Nuclear, this one pulled back a little bit today, but again, nothing wrong with it, just normal digestion. NBIZ, this one was down quite a bit, closed flat on the day, and a nice undercut reclaim of this previous left side high. Good action there. SMR, outside reversal today, not the prettiest candle, closed down roughly 2% and looked like it was going to be off to the races this morning. I'll just pull up an intraday chart, and this is a good depiction of some of the volatility that we saw in leaders today. But again, overall, still looks fine, holding above the 8 EMA and this 3230 level. So maybe this minor squat today falls through tomorrow. We own this in turbo protection. HSAI, this is a LiDAR name, again, flagging here in a nice little pennant. Sezzle, this one gapped down hard and then rallied back up off the 21 day. This has been a great earnings gap as well in this payment processor industry group. Rocket Lab, again, another one showing some volatility. We do own this in turbo protection as well. Rejected these 33, 34 highs and now coming back in. Still holding above the 21 for now, so watching it versus that level. But again, just some volatility in this one. And then eToro, this was the big loser, down 11, almost 12% on earnings. Again, these IPOs are very volatile in nature, so maybe this one just needs a little bit more time. All right, 21 over 21 list. We'll start with TEM and just talk about this one. We own this one in turbo protection, up 3.65% on the day. And a little bit about this name is Tempus AI uses artificial intelligence and advanced data analytics to personalize medicine, primarily in oncology, cardiology, and mental health. And, they have rapid revenue growth. They've secured major partnerships. They had a 200 million AstraZeneca deal, and they're successfully scaling their AI-powered healthcare platform. So that one looks good. And, this is a recent IPO. This has a big daily, weekly base. This has shown in the past that it makes very linear moves. You can see right here, right here, right here. Now this one's getting tight out of range. Looks similar to some of these prior moves. And then, strong theme with the medical. You have TMDX working. You have HIMS. So good good strength in the sector. So we'll see. This definitely is a volatile one, but again, should be on your guys' radar. Nvidia, nice strength in semiconductors, and our expectation, the market's going to continue higher. Semiconductors should as well. Nvidia is just coming up the right side really nice. 153.13's previous all-time highs. Good at covered Bitcoin. Palantir shook out, closed below 21 last week, and then just rebounded really nicely. And you know, that's what you want to see. If a name shakes out, gets bought up immediately. Palantir is still a leader and has a really nice box formation here. APP trying to hold the 21 here. Light, 5-day consolidation here above this 80 level. Toast, another one, building nice base here. Held to 21. Carvana just continuing up the right side. Zscaler, lockout move, barely pulling back, just super strong. Cybersecurity complex has been extremely strong. Boeing, nice setup here, just kind of flagging here up at the highs. Spotify pulled back to the 21, holding for now, as long as it holds above this base high, 652, it looks good. Uber, just some volatility. But again, it just might just need some more time consolidating in this range. Robinhood holding up at the highs really nicely. Gap down on people were expecting this to get added to the S&P 500. That partially due to the reason it was getting bid up, but gap down initially on Monday and then closing back up. This one still looks really good. Chewy looks good, maybe a little bit extended, but again, just trending. HIMS continues to hold the 21-day, not as extended. You have a daily stochastic cross, and this one's building a range. So this one kind of breaks out through this range. Could be an add-on spot. Definitely has worked off some of those overextensions that it had. So that's good to see. And again, just consolidating in this range nicely. Still really like the story here, explosive in that medical services industry group with multiple stocks acting well there. And this is looking like a nice cup and handle base that it's forming. CEG sitting at the 21. And again, some of these names got hit. The AI data center complex, just some seven week breaks that I mentioned with GEV, but charts still look fine, just minor profit taking there. GEV covered that, CRDO covered that, NRG, again, another picture of these names in the this one's a utility, but trades with power generation. The need for energy for these data centers. This one's breaking the 21, but we're keeping this one on watch. Maybe this undercuts the gap low or undercut and reclaims the 21. We'll see. Bros, kind of a harsh reversal, but just coming back into the 21. This name's been quite choppy. Relative strength line has just been moving sideways. So see if this maybe needs some more time. CoreWeave, just a tight inside day, and this one doesn't look like it's done. Clearly it's extended, but again, hasn't even broke the 8 EMA this whole run. A couple weeks back, I talked about the the super powerful, momentum growth stocks. They can ride the 8 EMA, the short-term moving averages for hundreds of percents, and that's why we always preach selling in strength and then also holding a runner. You have no idea how high a stock can go. And this is a perfect example of that. And it just continues to trend above the 8. And until it breaks that, there is no telling how high this thing can go. Obviously, initiating a position up here would be hard. But again, inside day, above that 150 high volume close from this expansion day and continues to hold up. So indexes, it was an index day today with some leaders showing some volatility, pulling back, but overall, good action across the board. Should be interesting what the market reaction is on CPI tomorrow, and then maybe we get some trade deals with China. That's what Lutnick hinted at today, so we'll be on the watch for that. But again, no reason not to be bullish right now until something changes. So that is the message we continue to give you guys every night, along with the portfolio changes. So that is going to wrap it. As always, like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com. You can reach out to me on X at ConnorJBates_. And you can always call us at 855 Real Wealth, 855-732-5932. And we've really been ramping up social media. We're doing shorts. We have an official Revere Asset Management X account, Instagram and TikTok. So just spreading the message of what we do, and we always appreciate all the likes, the shares, people subscribing. And if you're ever interested in becoming a client, please reach out. Thank you guys for watching and have a great night.